So, welcome to what is a currently empty or nearly empty work in progress summer house, come office, come YouTube studio. Totally being revamped. It's something that I've been meaning to do for many years and now I've got the opportunity to do it. We're partially way through it. A couple of weeks ago we got everything taken out of here, floor, sanded down, and furniture all sorted out and moved to the one side. As you can probably see, it's all over the place at the moment. And the whole place is going to be redone as a proper office YouTube studio for both me and my wife, plus hopefully there'll be a little bit of space left for relaxation. There's going to be a model railway that's going to run around the edge of the room as well. But the reason why we're doing this is it's well overdue an overhaul, especially where the electrics are concerned. You can always see behind me what's going on here, and I'll explain why that is in a moment. But this building was originally built many years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago now, and I built it, but the electrics at the time were done by another electrician. I wasn't an electrician at that time. I was an IT consultant. So this building was originally built as an IT server room. In back to the side here, there's another room, and in there it was full of IT equipment. So to facilitate that, we had to run, or the electrician had to run, quite a substantial SWA cable. So it's either a 6 or a 10. I can't quite remember what it is that's been run in. Goes directly back to our consumer unit through a Henry block, and there's a main switch there, and there's an RCD in the consumer unit here. Now, a ring was put in, 32 amp ring, which is the top cables running along here, into the back room. That was controlling all the servers, and in here we had a radial, 20 amp radial, I believe it's 20 amp, just double check. There. So 20 amp radial running to here, and there's another 20 amp radial that runs directly to a outdoor socket, and then we've got a 6 amp going to the lights. Now, over the years, as you can probably see, these cables have been distorted. There's a pencil line where the electrician ran them originally, and they were all nice and straight. They're not now. Why is that? They weren't put in like this. So what's happened? Well, this is a log cabin. These are not fixed, these are not solid walls that you see in a shed that you just put up and bang together. No, these are independent logs. This took the best part of a week to put together. 2 of us put this together. All the logs fit together. They're about 50 mil thick, these things. Nice and warm in the winter, hot in the summer. But what you can't do with log cabins, because of expansion and contraction, in the vertical plane you can't fix them together, because each one of these logs is expanding and contracting at different rates depending on the temperature and how dry or how wet it is. So as you can see, over the years these have distorted by probably a good 2 inches or more in different directions. Not only does it look messy, but also it's got unnecessary strain at the end, at the sockets and back at the board. Even the SWA cable, and you know how thick and non-bendy those things are, the S-bend that's coming to that is incredible. It just shows you that these are one thing you can't do with a log cabin. In the horizontal plane, it's not a problem, not really. You just leave a little bit of slack, because obviously the wood is contracting and decreasing in size a lot. So what we're going to be doing is, I no longer need the electrical cabling going to the back room. So that's all being ripped out. I'm ripping all that lot out. I'm also ripping out all these cables. They're not going to go up and down to the up and down. They're going to go horizontal between 5 sockets. Yeah, 5 double sockets are going on this wall. You might ask, why on earth am I doing that? Well, as I said right at the start, this is going to be a YouTube studio. The computer we have, we're going to have 2 computers. At the moment we've got one. I'll get a bit technical now. We have one computer which I built, that doubles as a server and as my Windows PC, which is what I do all my YouTube work on, which is what I do all my paperwork on, and everything else. That is one hell of a powerful PC server. But it's proved to be a little bit problematic where doing 4K videos is concerned. It takes an absolute age because it's trying to service doing the video work and do the server work. It's streaming videos into the house as well. It's a whole streaming server as well. Running Plex, if anyone's interested. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be splitting that back out into two dedicated systems. So this box here is going to be the server. You've got another box floating around somewhere, which is going to be the PC. So that'll be the Windows PC, that'll be our video server. But you can imagine the number of plugs that are going to come out. We've got dozens of hard drives. The machine itself has nearly 6. There's at least 3 external ones as well. We've got a printer. So you can see that, and then we've got obviously the camera's going to be powered. We've got a dedicated arm, which you've seen in previous videos. That'll have a dedicated microphone and lights. We're going to use these plugs completely. They'll be gone. Plus that will have the model railway running around. That will need power. So yeah, we're going to need those 5 sockets. We're going to need those 10 sockets. Sorry, 5 doubles. This will be on a 20 amp. 20 amp is more than sufficient. None of these devices I've got coming in here are high powered. Computers just aren't anyway. So nothing's going to be high powered. We're going to put in some USB sockets for recharging and things. Yes, that SWA cable is way too big for purpose now, but I'm not going to rip it out. You probably don't realise that the consumer unit from here is probably a good 30 metres away. I am not rerunning that. I'm not doing that so that it's staying put. Exactly how it's been done, it's perfectly fine. What I will be doing is the consumer unit is going to move slightly, it's going to move down. In a shed or workshop like this, you don't have to adhere to the building regulation rules about height. You don't have to. I'm still going to try and do it, to be honest. So I'm going to bring it down a little bit, reset the SWA cable, and like I say, the sockets are going to be horizontally connected together. They're going to be metal, and what we are going to be doing, something I don't do very often, in fact I think I've only ever done it once since I qualified as an electrician, is we're doing some steel conduit work. So here are the metal sockets and the conduits all put together, all 5 of them. They're all ready to be mounted onto the wall, and the flexible metal conduit as well, ready to go. Back to the board. There's a couple of videos that I did a little bit earlier on. I'll put the links to them on how all this lot was put together. So as I mentioned, we're going to use some metal flexible steel conduit at the end here to get up the wall. It's actually this stuff. That's what we're going to be using, and that's going to be connected to each side to the socket there. I don't know if you can see, there you go. And that's going to be connected into the consumer unit. So that's going to come down a little bit. I did say that, didn't I? So that's what we're going to use. That's what we're going to use to connect it all up together. And we're going to do it in such a way that it's going to have a swan neck in it. That's the recommended way to do it on with log cabins. If you're going to have to run vertically, you put in a swan neck. And because it's flexible, it hopefully shouldn't give me any grief. What I'll then do is I'm going to run singles through the cabling, and then singles through the conduit, give a bit of slack so that if there is going to be any movement in these logs, it's going to be taken up, and then we won't get any of this problem here running all over the place. The outdoor socket I'm relocating, I'm going to put it behind one of these sockets so that it goes out through the back, so we won't have an additional 2.5 cable running around. I'm going to raise up these sockets a little bit. I think I'm going to maybe put them on either this one or this one, because the benches, sorry, the worktops are going to be going along this wall about sort of waist height, I think, if I remember rightly. I'm not going to put them above that. I'm going to keep them below the worktop, but I might raise them up maybe 1 or 2 logs. They don't need to be that low. Like I say, you can actually be you can actually, sorry, I'm a bit distracted there. You can actually be a little bit flexible on that when it comes to outbuildings. I'm going to try and keep to the building regs as much as I possibly can, but you don't. It's a little bit more flexible, really. The only area of the building which isn't going to be touched electrically is the lighting. The light cabling actually at the moment is perfectly adequate. Yes, I could deal with it. I may have to do something with the cabling there because I'm bringing down the consumer unit to a better position. So I might have to lengthen the 2.5 cable to the lights. But there is a light in the back room, so there's a cable running straight through. At the end of it, it should look nice, neat, tidy, plenty of the correct cabling, plenty of the correct number of sockets, taking out all the cable that no longer needed here, and also we're still going to have a 20 amp circuit breaker for the outdoor socket totally separately. At the moment I'm keeping the RCD in there, I'm not changing it. Hello Ted, got a visitor. So all the circuits will be on the same RCD. In the future I'm going to switch them over to RCBO, so they will be independent. Sorry. So yeah, so that is where we are with this. As you can see, it's a right old mess. I've still got a little bit more sanding to do on the floor, but I'm not going to finish the floor until I've now finished the electrical work on the sockets. Then I'm going to finish sanding the floor off, give it there should be a coat of varnish over the top of that, and then everything, all the furniture, well no, actually not the furniture, the railway boards are going in first, then all the furniture is coming back in, and we're going to go from there. Already. Hello Ted! Oh, you come to see what's going on? Right. So yeah, that's where we are, really. So I think it's going to be really interesting what we're going to be doing. Don't see many videos on steel conduit work in domestic settings. It's quite a bit of it on the industrial and commercial stuff. Not a lot of it on domestic, so I'm hoping it's going to be interesting, especially for those of you maybe just coming out of the apprenticeships or doing this for the first time in your courses and things. We're not going to be doing any bending. We're simply going to be working on 20mm conduit, and I'm going to be going through how to thread it all together, what tools you need, and things of that nature. And I'll cover it all behind the camera actually at the moment. So we're going to go through that and how we're going to put all this lot together. Anyway, so I will see you soon.